Hey, this is me, Danielle, and this is my service dog, Cassian. This is usually how we sleep. It's a small bed. He just kind of cuts it a little close. But we just wanted to talk about having an actual service dog on a cruise ship. One, you absolutely cannot leave your dog alone in a camera or the cabin. I've mentioned that before in another video. Another thing is that there's a lot of preparation going into bringing a service dog on a cruise ship. First and foremost, they are going to require a 7001 health certificate from the USDA, which will be filled out by your veterinarian. It costs us about $35 for our vet to fill out that form. We also had to have multiple vaccinations, proof of his rabies, and then if we wanted to disembark, we had to message each government entity separately. So we went to the Cayman Islands, Mexico, and Jamaica. So I would have had to message each and every one of those governments, get their health certificates, which will cost a lot of money, have my vet fill it out, and then I'd have to send it back. Now, sending it back, they could give you either approval or not approval, and even if they give you an approval, they still can refuse entry to you and your service dog if you try and disembark. Now, note that a lot of countries and places in Europe or foreign countries don't recognize owner-trained service dogs like Americans do. Cassie is trained by a program, but the thing is, though, is that they will only recognize ADI-accredited organizations as well as service dogs, and their service dog laws are very different than America. American service dog laws are pretty lenient. So even still, if your dog is able to disembark, other places will or possibly kick you and your service dog out with a no pets policy. Again, foreign countries don't have the same service dog laws that we do, and they are within their rights, unfortunately. Well, unfortunately for you, but you have to respect their laws. So anyways, another thing about having a service dog on board, your dog needs to be absolutely bulletproof. I have pictures I'll post on the Instagram of Michael's Angel Paws. There is a lot of music, a lot of tight fits in the elevator. It's been, outside, I don't know if you can see now, you can't. It's been really rocky. The waves are huge and it's incredibly windy. So the movement of the boat can really freak a dog out. We're crammed in elevators all the time. His bathroom area is completely out of the way. I'd have to go down the hall several feet, go down the ship, because I'm docked my cabin's in the front of the ship. I'd have to go to the back of the ship on deck 4 for him to go to the bathroom in an itty bitty poop box. I have a video uploaded of his poop box. They absolutely do not provide poop bags. You are responsible to bring poop bags. You can't have your dog defecate and then just leave it there, okay? If your dog is nervous, barking, or a pain, they will uninvite your dog from public accommodations. This has happened before when I was on another cruise, Royal Caribbean, about 2 years ago. A lady brought her service dog who was absolutely petrified. The dog was snapping at people and it barked the entire cruise. This dog was uninvited, could not go to public places. So this lady pretty much had to stay in her cabin because the dog was not permitted to stay in the cabin by itself. So either she had to stay with the dog or a friend or family member had to stay with the dog, which limited all the things that she could do on the cruise. And since her dog couldn't go to the dining areas and stuff like that too, she pretty much had to order room service. And her dog embarked and shrieked through the whole trip, and my parents' cabin was near them, that all the 4 cabins surrounding that cabin of that lady comped every single room around her, the 4 rooms around her, across into the sides because of that dog. Now, the fines that she had because of that dog and the disturbance and the nuisance that it did, from what I heard, it was fairly steep. And not to mention the cleaning and stuff, because the dog wasn't fully house trained either. So honestly, it's not worth it if your dog isn't well trained for this. If your dog has airport training and stuff like that, has flown, your dog shouldn't have much of a problem on a cruise ship. But one of the things that I would like to bring up is how I prepared him for this. Now, we had a leg up because Cassian and I are from Las Vegas, Nevada. So he's used to buffets, tight groups of people, being pushed around, navigating and guiding me through large crowds. It's no big deal for him, but other dogs don't have that same type of training. So what I would recommend is start early, going to really, really busy locations. Definitely go to really busy buffets. Do some airport training at baggage claim. Get them used to the sounds, noises, and such like that. Also, I highly recommend teaching your dog to go to the bathroom in a kiddie pool full of wood shavings because that's basically the size of his poop box. If they have an accident in the cruise ship, it is a cleaning fee and it's pretty steep, even if it's an accident. So even when I'm walking, I know my dog's potty schedule. Even still, accidents happen, so I carry a pee pad with me just in case. If he can't hold it anymore, or if he gets sick, blah, 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 I could throw down the pee pad and everything will go on that pee pad. It's in my hand, it's ready, accessible, but I've never had to use it. It's just my backup. Right, Cass? He's a good boy. Yes, you are. So that's my thing right there. Another thing is dog food. Cassian, he eats 4 cups of food a day. His food is natural balance. He eats half raw too. So I bought this container right here. It holds about 18 pounds of food. It's airtight. It's big enough to fit on in a suitcase. But here's the thing. It was filled to the top. We're scraping at the end of the barrel. We disembark tomorrow. Or this is the last day at sea. Right, buddy? So anyways, another thing that I want to talk about service dogs is the manners. People are everywhere. They don't see your dog, even if your dog is incredibly well trained. Like my boy, he's pretty much out of the way, but they don't see him. Be sure to teach a tight tuck. Be sure, Cassian, you just ate food. Be sure that they're quiet and out of the way. I am going to tell you right now, people will touch your dog. There are people from foreign countries that aren't used to service dogs, that have never seen a dog on a cruise ship, or people who are homesick for their dog too. They will touch your dog, no matter what. Even if you say no, I've had to slap several hands away. And some other people, when we're out playing on the deck and he's unvested, or playing fetch, I'll permit some people to pet him. Some other people, like staff on here, are absolutely terrified of him. He's a big boy. Cassian, down. So there will be complaints too. Another downside of having a service dog with you, though, is that even people, he's on the boat with me and such, there are people that criticize everything that he does. Like, they are waiting for him to mess up. They are scrutinizing everything he and I does. And they will try and make him trip up or prove that he's not a service dog kind of thing. My dog's bulletproof. He's done really good. He does get a little overwhelmed because it's 24/7 on the boat. So I make sure to take time to play with him on the deck, play fetch, and come to the cabin for quiet time so he can rest and decompress. I'm not going to force my dog to do everything, and because I want to do things too. He's a living being, and he has his limits, and we usually go back to the cabin for probably about an hour or two twice a day. We play on the deck 4 near his poop box. So we play fetch. I let people pet him. It's just a way for him to decompress. Vest is on. He's working. There's a lot of different things. The boat culture is very different. But the thing is, though, is like the entertainment stuff is really great. We went to see a headliner show, El Gaucho. But the thing is, though, is that he was cracking whips. Like, it was very loud. There are sounds and sights that dogs have never been exposed to, so make sure your dog's not reactive to sounds. Lots of people running back and forth. We're on Royal Caribbean. There's a game called The Quest where people are up and about running around, because it's like a scavenger hunt in teams. So Cassie and I stayed in the corner away from other people so he wouldn't get stepped on. But even still, at a time, he kind of looked at me and was like, "Mom, I'm over it. It's so loud, and I want to go out." And for me, it's like, okay, his needs are above mine. Yes, he's my service dog and he helps me, but it's constantly like having a 2-year-old with you. If he's not feeling good or he's over it, he's just like, I'm tired. I leave. I don't force him through it. If he has to go to the bathroom, I have to make the long trek to his little poop box. I've got to feed him, water him, make sure that all his needs are met before mine because he's working so hard. But we do take lots of time during the day to play and such like that too. But since this is we've been on this cruise ship for 7 days, so it's not home, so he doesn't get to play with his sisters. There's noises going around and other things too, so I have to get him to, decompress, let him relax, and do his own thing as well. Because this is his first cruise. This is totally different from anything else that he's used to. So, yeah, if I think of anything else on the cruise ship before you guys are thinking about going on a cruise with you and your service dog, I'll post it, or you can ask me questions and I'll answer, that kind of stuff. But this is my experience being on a Royal Caribbean cruise line with my dog and what I've seen and what I've noticed. If you get overwhelmed with people approaching you and having a service dog, because they will talk to you 24/7, you will never be left alone. I promise you that. If you get really stressed out, I would suggest leaving your service dog at home, because people come to you like a magnet with your dog. So if you have really bad anxiety and stuff like that on a cruise ship, and you get really agitated and stuff, and your dog's trying to task, no matter what you do when you're out there with your dog, people are going to talk to you. People are going to approach you. They're going to touch your dog, try to touch your dog, and ask you all these freaking questions. Okay. So, again, if that stresses you out and makes you shut down, you might become a recluse in the cabin if you have your service dog, or I would suggest leaving your service dog at home, because everybody, I can't emphasize this enough, will talk to you about your dog. They'll try and touch your dog. Where does the dog go to the bathroom? I miss my dog. Can I pet your dog? I'm dog sick. Blah, blah, blah. Dead dog stories. Everybody's going to touch your dog. And they are going to approach you. They're going to talk to you. Even if they don't speak English, they're going to approach you, or they're going to give you dirty ass looks. So it's one or the other, okay? So be prepared for that. All right? If I have another video or answer questions, I'll let you know. Bye.